this part. I thought I was gonna be able
P2G
to
presents
pull out
Black
this
Girls
line. I
in
don't think it's gonna work.
Web3 podcast. Hosted by WANDA SUERO, also known as Salty Coffee,
Wait, did I lose y'all
Dazzle
again?
Daniels, also known
This
as
is
Dazzle
good.
D, and myself, Elruby Thomas, known as Miss Ruby, Crypto Queen of Harlem, y'all. Tune in weekly as we strive to educate and elevate our community's financial literacy. We bring you professional and expert speakers, share insights from our personal wealth journeys, and introduce workshops and resources to empower you. Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com at P2G Networks TV for an hour of Black Girl Power, where we're shaping the future of finance in Web3. Peace, and see you there. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friday night with the Black Girls in Web3. We are going to have a ball tonight. It's dance time. I was like, ow.
It's Afro Friday.
Hey, that's right. That's what's up. All
What's
right.
going on?
I know we got our sister Daz popping in and out. I'm your girl, Elruby T, also known as Miss Ruby, the producer.
Wanda, also known as Salty Coffee.
In the house. That's what's up. This is our Friday night conversation for financial literacy and awareness. So it is time, y'alls. Oh, I must say, we must give love and appreciation to our sisters and brothers in the rainbow because it is Pride Month, y'all. We are in the Pride. Let's go. I would do the whole
Happy
sachet
Pride
Shantae,
Month.
but I can't really get that on right now. I'll let you know. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Happy Pride Month to all those who are worldwide. I know this is Pride in New York. Y'all get out there, do your thing. I want y'all dropping it like it's hot. Don't forget to dead drop, do your thing.
And
Get
just
that
have
party
fun.
on and enjoy your life. That's right. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about it, girl. What we up to? We was just having a crazy conversation in the early part of the week, y'all. We talk about everything. All right. And it's so funny when we're doing our work for creating the show. I think we just have conversations and then the show comes out of whatever we're talking about. I'm like, wait, what do we do? That's it. That's what we're going to do. Mr. Thomas, did you just know that? Okay. Mr. Thomas.
You need the little live candle or that light
I'm gonna have to get a live light that says
on
I'm
air.
live. Yes, on air.
On
Well,
air.
I like that on air. I'm gonna he gonna
I
be
have
mad
one
at
on the
me.
door. I do.
So folks don't come in. We are live. Don't you put yourself up in my door.
Not even that. The dog needs to read it.
Seriously. Okay, I get you. We might have to put one outside for the fire department because they just be rolling through whenever they get ready.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. It's New York, y'all. They don't care. Anyway, Dazzle, what's up, baby? You in with us? What's happening? Oh, got to give her a minute. Y'all know she driving. She out there hustling. She making that money. Look, bottom line, I love that we are Black girls in Web3. I absolutely love that. We have so many things coming and going on that we are contributing to and that we're creating with different groups around here. And they're starting to branch out even more. I'm loving it because today my sister let me know there's a group out here in Brooklyn we could connect to. I'm like, give me a call because Miss will be ready for you. We got to get this going, baby. And the fact that we create our own damn money, this is even better.
Right.
It makes it all better. Look,
Absolutely.
we was talking about how early on in the week, we was talking about how women don't know, we really aren't aware of the things we're entitled to on platforms like work, hell, marriage, hospitals. Yes, seriously. Schools. Seriously, they play us in that place all the time. They try to anyway.
Housing authority.
Yes. Oh, don't start. You don't want me to start. I had to.
I don't.
It's so. I mean, I had to learn the system. I'm not kidding. Had to learn the system because this gentleman who ran one of my my office tried to play me. I mean, this man would have been having dinner at my house if I let him talk his way through. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so I'm like, I mind my business, you mind yours. Handle your paperwork, and we good. Take this
Yeah.
money. You know what I'm saying? Take this money.
And it went from, and I don't know where we're going to start, but now that we're having
We
a
are,
conversation, it
yeah,
went from the affordable housing, the lottery system thing.
yep.
Years ago, you had to submit the application. Do you know that some people were telling them to send it in a pink envelope? Like that was one of the loopholes for them to
What? To be
yeah.
accepted,
So
absolutely.
and now that it's electronic, it's still a scam. They still scamming
Yeah.
people. They're still getting who they want to get to.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we have to catch our legislators up to par with that whole process and that whole system.
You know how I feel about these dang legislators. I'm like, y'all ain't even out here working for us. Why? Because we are not putting them to work. We're not holding them accountable.
Right. Oh, some of us. Some
Well,
of us
no,
are.
when I say we,
Yeah.
no, when I say we, because you could have a conversation with them, but now you got to bring 10,000 of your friends for them
Yes.
to go, oh, shoot. I'm
The
like,
whole
no,
10
how
blocks.
about this? How about this? We about to have an election real soon. Me and my folks, I'm on, and remember, y'all had a power. It's called social media. Go run
Mhm.
your mouth. If you know who's running, you should be running them. Tell them, run it. I want this done. Before you get in, I want this done. You want our vote? You better make sure this shows up.
And
Because it's how it is.
the good thing about New York State is that the local levels elections are not during the presidential elections. So I like
Right.
that.
Me
And
too. Oh my God.
that's what people really need to put in place to take care of your
Exactly.
own. Yeah.
Focus, right? Get a little focus and look, people can't talk to me all the time. I'm like, two things I don't really talk about. This is not a show about politics, church or church, but we dang on sure talk about money. And ain't it funny how it always leads back? Ain't it crazy how when we have a conversation about money, church and state always ends up in the conversation?
Hmm.
Because we ain't
Hmm.
when you about your money, you start holding people. Then it's like people always wonder, well, white people, that's because they holding folks accountable.
It's not
It's
even
their
that.
money. They have
Yeah.
respect.
And
They make
the
them
thing
respect
is,
them.
like Yankee stadiums, private Ivy League schools, none of them pay taxes. We do.
Say
The
that again.
worker, the students.
Wow.
Yeah, we do. The CEOs from, that the old Yankee Stadium, they owed so much money to the Bronx.
What? And
How
then
did,
built another one?
hello.
How you wait, nah, dude,
And it's
nah.
public information. And that's something that people need to know.
Because people are not interested.
Yo,
They
they
just out here
hate
trying
Google,
to get
man.
these
They hate
jobs.
Google. Google be out there
Oh,
calling people. Can we find out how to get in there? Do it, Google.
I
Do it.
know, I know. All you got to do is Google it. That's what I'm talking about. It's a Googleable
Yeah.
moment. That's what I
It's a
call
Google
it.
moment.
It's a Googleable moment. Let's get to it. So
Got my
look, tonight,
PhD in Googleology.
that's what I'm saying. Yes. So today we're gonna give you a little bit of a lowdown. The conversation kind of went into somewhere where we were like, it's weird. There was a time in my and I'm just gonna share this because Mr. Thomas said we ain't got no shame in our game. Okay. We've been at this for like 30 years now. We are literally at 31 years together, 27 years, I'm sorry, 28 years married. But when we were in our lower numbers and all about our business, and we weren't so together, we were in a space where I had to know what my rights were as a woman, and I didn't know. Now I have such an amazing, honorable man that he told me. Okay, I didn't have to go researching. I didn't know to go researching. I was too busy being a mom, hustling on doing my thing, having my business on the side. I was working jobs, and I didn't know that all this time being with somebody. We was at what 15 years in, and he was like, "Let me tell you what you're entitled to." So, what man comes to you and actually says, "Uh, you're entitled to half my pension," because we've been together. Let me just let you know. I wasn't even thinking like that, to be honest. I'm gonna be really honest. I didn't run on that. I wasn't like, okay, well, you owe me stuff. That's not where I was. At the time, I just wanted us to be healthy because we was just getting, it was crazy. Money was tight. I ain't have none of this knowledge. Didn't know nothing about making money except getting a job, side hustle, pay them bills, keep them kids happy, doing what they got to do. That's all we were doing. And he was doing it his way. I was doing it mine. Things were happening. And what do? You grow up. And things change and people change. And I didn't ask him, well, you going to give me this or give me that? Because I never needed him to give me anything in the first place. Like I said, I hustled my whole life, baby. Since 9, I had a job. Okay? And people go, how did you get 9 years? I created a job. That's what you do. You don't be unemployed. You're not unemployable by yourself. You ain't getting no job if you can't employ you. Just letting you know right now. You can't get no job.
But you know what's honorable about that? Yeah. That in his heart, it was, babe, it's because if something happens to me,
right,
you know what's out there for you. And I wouldn't even think that you would have thought about it like the other way. Yeah.
And for him, it was even though we were separating at the time. And that was the thing. We were in a space of separation, which could have led to divorce. So he was being upfront with me and like putting it all out there, right? This is what you're entitled to. I'm like, damn, this man's looking after me, even though we like about to split up and the whole 9. He still got me in mind. He's taking care of his. That right there, I pray that more brothers have that kind of support for your family. And because even we co-parented. That goes so much beyond love. I'm just let y'all know right now. That goes so much beyond love. That's a level of respect and honor. And just, I mean, he's always been there for me, just to let you know. I'll let you know right now. Our biggest problem in and out of our relationship is us. Because no matter what, we can't be with other people, try to move on, and people be like, but he's still there. And he gonna be there. That's my kid's father. That's my ride or die right there. You know what I'm saying? And although I hate that statement, but the fact is, yeah, boo, we on till the wheels. I decided that for my life. Whether we married or not, that's different. That's a contract. And that's what we were talking about, these contracts. That's how we even got into this conversation. We were talking about people not knowing what the hell they get into with these contracts. Marriage is not even real. It's just paperwork. Yeah. All that hubba bubba and God said and the man this did not even solidify the contract.
Even if it's it's a verbal agreement.
Handshakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, handshakes. I do. You do? I do. Do you do?
They need a verbal agreement. Exactly.
It's a verbal agreement.
Do you do? And we say, I do. And that's everybody saw it. Y'all all witnesses, which is why in marriage you need 2 witnesses, just like in any contract. Look, dude, I'm letting y'all know right now. We keep getting they put us in this emotional state often so that we don't think about the paperwork we did. I'm like, oh, so our relationship is licensed. Think about it.
Everything.
Our relationship is licensed. Well, it's got to have terms. Come on now. It's got to have entitlements. Why y'all think they was trying to hold gay marriage back? They was like, oh, Lord, not another set of group. We got to figure this out between 2 men and then 2 women. They was getting like, oh, Lord, here we go. Can you imagine the legislature? So if he, and I said, I didn't want to do the paperwork, but somebody better get something done because these people want to get married. They want to be legally seen. If they're going to live the life as a married couple, they want them rights to be able to, get the pension. I want to be able to speak over what his and her health is. I want to be able to, really be able to take responsibility from my spouse. That's really what that's about. Legal responsibility and liability as well. Don't get it twisted. That's what. Look, when you get in them marriages with them folks with that, y'all ain't check that credit first.
Not even that. Yeah. One thing that I noticed, I've always thought that marriage, like the process of divorcing should be first before you actually get married. So that couples can understand what it is to be married.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Let's go through the divorce process. This is what will happen if you get divorced. You would be entitled to these things. You would have to split it up equally.
If it this, that, and the other, right.
Once you understand that process, then getting married, you'll think about it more. Because single is what, 25 hours? I don't know. I got married a long time ago. How much is it now?
It was like 15. It costs as much as a birth certificate. $15, girl.
$15.
Yep,
But to
for a
get
license.
divorced,
it can cost you hundreds. It's if you do it. It can
and
cost you thousands.
And
if you get and a whole life of worrying. And not only that, all kinds of things that time and your money, and you got to come off work, like you said, and
business, especially business, if you own businesses together.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be wonderful if people had an agreement before they got married for everything? No, not just that, but I like that. If we could get couples to create a trust, put everything in trust from the get-go.
From the get-go.
You know what I'm saying? From the get-go. Y'all, trust me, you know how people used to talk about dowries? Well, let's get a trust that tells everybody exactly how this works. Who's got what? How this thing works? What gets dealt out if and when? And if you did that before you got married, and everything from in the marriage went in that trust, you wouldn't even need a judge.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need a judge or a lawyer, because it's like all our stuff is in trust. I got a whole list of our intentions should we decide to make other plans. You know what I'm saying? And then you got something built in for your next generation. Can you imagine starting your marriage off, not a prenup, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Not a postnup, but a trust, you crazy people. Okay, protect not just your stuff from him and her, but the government too. Because when you get divorced, do you know who gets the most paid? Uncle Sam. The people you signed your whole relationship over to. I said it's crazy.
Because when you marry, you get all the credits.
Yes, you do.
When you marry, you get all the credits. But once you divorce and single and solo, you pay a lot of tax.
Yes, you do. The government was like, no problem. We got you. You ain't got to stay married.
We knew it. It worked. Check.
It worked. Exactly. It's like, check off. It became a business for them. Divorce is a business. It pays somebody. It may not pay you. You might pay somebody, but it doesn't pay you. So why not prepare your life? Because that's what I love what trusts are. I love you. Living trusts go a long way. Learning what, and make it private, please. Girl, did you know? Someone sent me something. It's so interesting because they know we do Saturday, we do status correction introductions on Saturday nights. And so a good friend of mine sent me something. He said, do you know that Michael Jackson's children are caught up in the courts over what he owes in taxes and cannot access their trust? They cannot. How can they not access a trust? Isn't a trust supposed to protect you, protect finances and all the things? Michael Jackson did a public trust. He did a trust that was registered with the state. Anything registered with the state belongs to the who? The state has power. So he did the right thing. He just did it the wrong way. And ain't that crazy when you don't know what you don't know? Can you imagine how many money men he had around him putting that paperwork together? Oh, that's nasty. Oh, still got sound? Sorry.
You're good.
So I just want people to understand that it's necessary today. If we don't have knowledge of what we're getting into, you don't even know half the contracts you signed into. You sign your kids over to the school, your money over to the bank, yourself over to the job.
Slow down, Miss Ruby.
I'm like, that's a shame. I'm sorry. I go on a roll.
I'm like, you excited? You get your kids up in there. They're up in the dorms.
That's right.
The next thing you know, they don't want to live there anymore. And you didn't read not one sentence from that agreement.
Woo!
And now you're stuck with not only a maybe potential fee, but you're stuck paying the whole thing.
Wait, what?
And not having guaranteed housing if you want to come back.
Oh.
The same thing happens when you have FAFSA and you apply for FAFSA and all of that.
Right.
If your grades are not up to par and you didn't read that whole thing, you're responsible for paying. Your kid cannot come to you and tell you, I don't want to do this anymore. And if they do, you have to pay the whole thing.
Wow.
So
you know how many
do
parents
have to
need
pay
to know that? Yep.
Yeah.
You're required to pay. This is I'm trying to tell you. This is why we go. Or I've started early with my daughter on like she was early on when I started learning financial literacy. I sat her down. We did a live on Facebook where I sat my daughter down and showed her the real contract in credit cards, because it's so funny. I just did a class and we found a video where they were talking about how students were being targeted and are still being targeted by credit card companies. Yes, not just loans, but not just student loans. The credit cards companies are out of control, giving students who have no income credit, knowing that they think it's free money. And this one young lady got a credit card. She'd spent 8 years. She only paid down half the debt. It would take her another 8 years. This is after she's done 8 years, y'all, to pay down the debt on a credit card. And it was something like $6,000, but it went up. See, that's the thing. The way we don't understand how credit card debt is different than loans, different than student, how they accrue. Then on top of that, tax debt is even different. They accrue by the day. So we don't understand these things, but then we don't know what our actual, I guess, leeways are, how they manage, how people manage through them, what you can do. Like we were just talking about, it says some people have hardships. Did you know that credit cards have hardship clauses?
Right.
Not just since COVID. It's been a long time. If you lose your job and you can't make a couple of payments, do you know to contact the credit card company yourself? Or you just say, well, they got to get to, I'll get to them when I get to them. No. Go ahead, D. Go ahead, Daz. We see you, girl. Go ahead and open that mic.
No, I was gonna say, it's so predatory. You know what I'm saying? They definitely prey on the ignorance, and they don't do any vetting. So when I was 16, I had a credit card, and they actually tried to take me to court for this. So I was 16, and they gave me like $5,000. I'm a 16-year-old with my own apartment, and you gave me a credit card. They told my grandmother that I said I was born in 1924. I said 84 for the record, because I just had to make myself a little older. But the moral of the story, she's like, who in the hell born in 1924 could afford this APR? Who could afford this interest rate? Born in 1924, make it make sense. She said, "Good for you." My granddaughter ain't paying y'all. But that's how I first messed up my credit, because they were so greedy that they just gave me a credit card.
I told you I had literally, mine was a $1,700 credit. It's the most expensive candy bar I ever ate. They were at my school. It was in the like just before spring in June, and I coming down the stairs. It's hot as hell. I just walked across the entire campus to be on my way to get to the train. Guess what? They boom right there. They got cold candy, y'all. They got cold candy, and all you got to do is fill out this form. Now you know me. I'm like, I ain't got no job. I'm in school. I work with my mother. Nah, I ain't gonna make that. But I figured I wasn't gonna get nothing. I'm like, here, give me a signature, sure. And like an idiot, my social. Come on now, somebody on the street just picked up my social.
No, not just the social, all of your information.
All of the information. They could have recreated my behind. And what they did was they sent that application in, and I happily skipped my happy ass off with that candy bar, cool it off that day. And you want to hear something? The credit card showed up 2 weeks later. I said, I got a credit card. Oh my God, it worked. I'm credit worth. I was so proud, like I had just earned something. I was like, well, what are we going out to dinner? I said, at $500, y'all, $500. I was like, child, I lost my damn mind. But I had a habit of paying a little. So I would pay a little on it. And then, I keep doing that for a while. And then I started spending the cash and the card. Payments got behind. I started not keeping up with them, and then it kept going over and over, and I couldn't handle it because I wasn't working. I wasn't getting any money in. We were struggling. And in the end, $500 turned into $1,700. Because after a while, they had to stop it. They had to close the account. They weren't getting any money, but they were building interest on it. Now, how much money did I really owe? Really, I owed $500.
Right.
The agreement part was, oh, I'll take on any liability over time. I didn't really take
Mhm.
$1,700, spent $500, but they got paid on time. And they got paid on a time frame that was quick because every month it kept going. And it went from, listen, I didn't think 9 point something percent was high until the day you go over and it's 29.6%. That is 29 cents out of every dollar you owe. For those who ain't keeping up with the math. Like a crazy, I didn't read the damn contract. I'm a student. I read a lot. I don't need to read anymore.
Mhm.
Keep reading. Those contracts are where your life is. Had I known, I could have made a phone call and said, look, I'm not working. Can I get a few months? And I would have structured something for myself.
Right.
But I
And
didn't.
stop there, yeah.
Yeah, I could have
Yeah.
stopped it all there. But they was targeting my young behind. So, oh, you poor, but you got clean credit. You ain't never had credit before. 18 and ready to go, y'all. They was ready.
So let's say you get married, right?
Oh,
And you go into this wedding in debt. Ooh.
yeah. Scary. not in debt. I love it. Not in
So
debt.
you start the relationship with the person who's good credit, marrying someone with
low credit.
bad credit.
It's not going to do this. It's going to do this.
Right.
It doesn't bring you up. It brings both of you down. It brings them
So
closer to you.
the point here is if you're going to marry someone, make sure you know their background, their credit, have the conversation on their finances, make sure they are, and it's okay. You should be asking for health records. You should
Thank
be
you.
asking all of that before you even attempt to like go
No,
there.
before you go. No,
before
before you go. Thank you.
any children out there.
Yes, please don't be afraid to ask those questions.
And even if they don't know that they don't have any children, there's a way for
Yes,
you to
find out.
put yourself out there and just figure it out.
Now, you know what would be great if people created their relationships in that way. Most people don't want, oh, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to put him on the spot. You better put him on the spot. That's your life. You're not trying to put her on the spot. That's your life. There should be financial literacy. And I swear, I wish myself and Mr. Thomas had held each other to this, that we learned about each other. I told him everything. Alvin's been my best friend since I was 19, y'all. 19. I'm 50. Okay. He's been my best bud in and out of marriage. You know what I'm saying? In and out of the active marriage process. We've had each other's back no matter what. And with that, he can tell me anything. I could tell him everything. You know what I'm saying? People tell me, you tell him too much. I'm like, well, you got to have one person on this planet that actually knows you. And I mean the good, the bad, and the ugly. I would prefer it to be the one I chose for my life. Because when I said I was not just going to marry him, I said, you're my person. That's no matter what. So here I go. I'm missing some questions. We telling y'all because we don't want you missing no questions. Don't you miss no questions. Had we did financial literacy and said, look, bottom line, we got big plans. We don't know nothing about money. No, the two of us think we balling because we young. We just think we got 2 jobs and got no kids, going out every weekend. Girl, we eating out. Going on vacation, got the car, driving out the city. You know we was bad. Come on. That was right there. We was the two. We Bonnie and Clyde, both of us. Couldn't tell us nothing. Baby number 1, it was on. Okay. Baby number 1, it was on. Life hit us like a brick to the head from the sky on the 19th floor.
Yeah, because you losing sleep too.
Yes. We trading off sleeping nights.
Sleeping.
We ain't going to bed together no more. It's like it's your night. I'll be up tomorrow. It's like, so had to know we was getting into this thing, but we still had to make it work, right? So with that, we discovered something about the how should I say, the the uh the funnel of debt. The funnel of debt does a kind of a swirl that goes down, but it comes back up and then it goes back down and it comes back up and picks you up like a tornado that never ends. And it only happens is you go into debt, you go into black. You get back in the red, you go into the black. And as soon as you clear this debt, the next one pops up. Some
And you
debt will
clear
just
the
hold
debt.
up.
When do couples usually clear their debt? During tax season, right?
Oh, yes.
Because
Yes. After, now, did
and
you
they do the
know
same thing over and over.
ooh, we can't wait. We can't wait till we get to them taxes.
We're getting
Child,
our refund. Is that
but
refund?
our refund is coming in. You know how many businesses got their eyeball on you? They waiting for your refund to come.
Mhm.
Child, they giving you your refund early just to get some of it. They'll
Yeah.
give. It takes too long. It's too long to wait 8 days for your check. We
No,
got
it used to
you.
be. It used to be more
I
back in
know.
the days.
I know. And it's like, oh my God, like it's not going to be here for at least a month. You know what? I'd rather wait that month as long as I ain't giving up a percentage because I gave up enough of my money already.
Exactly.
The government been holding on to this free loan for a year. I ain't getting no monies.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. But look, child, you got to watch yourself. You have to be able to function in a certain way. In relationships, you got to be aware of what you're entitled to. You got to be aware of what you're getting into. Any contract, and yes, it is all a contract. My husband did not want to hear that when I said, you know, basically our marriage is a contract. He looked at me like, see, it's what I'm talking about. You always talking about like this ain't nothing. I'm like, stop being emotional. I'm talking about the responsibilities we got. That's what's killing us. You know, we killing us because we don't know. He looked at me like, you know, you're right. I said, I'm tired of being broke. Every time I turn around, I'm broke because we married and we don't know what we're doing. You know how many power couples are married and they understand that if they have assets, they pull them together and they learn to deduct from things. They deduct things from their home. They deduct things from their active life. I'm going to tell y'all something about power couples. It's not one part that brings them up. It's two parts working together in tandem. Each of them have their strengths and they're not the same. So if you got a powerful woman or someone who's smart, she ain't trying to be slick. She's trying to help you avoid the things that she can see that you ain't able to see in your path on the way to your success. Same thing vice versa. He may not be the king of that throne, but he's got some part to play in your rise. You were given that relationship. You're there because he gave something to you. He raised you and you raised him. And you still do it if you pay attention. Because we get busy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Things get busy. People get forgotten. Lit overlooked. So what? Get over yourself. Get back to talking to each other. Mastermind your success. I ain't lying because I'm going to tell you right now, me and this man coming up with stuff. There's going to be a whole summer of stuff about to happen. And all it took was a bunch of arguments about you ain't listening, damn it. I tell you right now, my relationship is fun. And I know he'd be like coming back to me, man, I was thinking about what you said. Mad because now he got a point of view. You know what I'm saying? He's in. Look.
I want to ask Daz something.
Go for it.
What do you think, Daz, if your significant other, you're married 10 years, have 2 kids already, has a child with someone else?
Oh, no.
Who's responsible for paying for this child? You or the mother, the other woman?
I think it's both. It's everybody. It takes a village. It's everybody's responsibility. Like if you with that person, you have it's you know it's the whole thing. Like um, what they call blended families or whatever. To
True
me,
that.
You're not gonna
it's
cut.
everybody's business. You know.
That's right. That's right. Well, let me share something on that. I told this man right here, said to him, don't let me find out during my retirement that you have an 18-year-old show up talking about, hey, daddy, because that is going to be on you. I ain't playing. Ain't nobody stopping my retirement. Speaking of which, that goes back to my entitlement. I don't mind helping, and I'm gonna be really honest. I've raised so many of my relatives' kids, it's ridiculous. My husband's child is my child. We have to have a relationship as a family in order for the children in the household and the family to be. So get over yourself, ladies. You know what I'm saying? If your man, you had a kid from somebody else, and your man is here with you, and he's like, look, for whatever. After you get pregnant after the fact from some dude, y'all split up, whatever, and now you pregnant, but he want to be with you. Just like somebody coming into your marriage and coming into your life after, a dude coming in and your husband not with you, he has to accept your children and everything. Why aren't we doing it, ladies? You got if
And
you
that's what
answer
I'm
that.
saying, like that foundation, just like I said, the village mentality, like that hidden animosity be so weird. Like
Yep.
I like, to me, like y'all know, I'm single, so I just deal, with these situations
See,
a long time, and it's always, you find like you have like that spite, and then or the they don't want to take care, it's too unnecessary. I
what
think if
happens?
you keep that blended culture, like the blended village, things will go far. But that mentality really don't be there. Like,
I
it don't
think
work
we need
that
to
way.
start promoting that more with people to understand that. First of all, when you break up with somebody, if you still got that kind of animosity, you shouldn't have broke up with them. You still love them insanely. You just need to work stuff out. There's something that's there. But if you break up with somebody and you can be in a space of peace with yourself and peace with them, this all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It all makes sense. Now, what happens down the road if that child's mother's not there anymore? You would have had a relationship with someone who's going to come into your life. See, we don't think about the future. We always think about how mad we are right now. It's like, guess what? Something Miss Salty Coffee has as a saying this year. What is what is your saying, mommy? What you say
Girl, there's so many right now, but
about change?
everything is subject to change, and we must be proactive and not reactive, especially when our emotions are involved.
Thank you.
So, yeah, and everything is subject to change, including your contractual agreement on your marriage.
Yeah.
Back in the days when you got married legally, there were things in there that you had to have sex with your husband as a
Yes, I
wife,
heard that.
that you couldn't work, that you weren't entitled to $0. Your husband is the 100% financial duty to his family, not you. So things have
Yep.
changed, and they've changed for some the better. But Daz is right. It's a community, it's a tribe. But when you are getting married
Mm-hmm.
and you have this contractual agreement, you have to make sure that communication is the key
And it's
to make
there.
sure
Hmm.
that you're still following
That's right.
those commandments or agreements or whatever it is. So if you don't want to fall into that whole, we had a conversation about the Fantasia
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
situation, where in some states, if you are married and someone comes in and destroys that marriage, that person is legally at fault, and they have to pay the wife for it.
It's called damages. Yes, it is. They're suing you
Oh,
for
I saw
damage.
your lips moving. I'm like, is this
Sorry.
one?
I was trying to get the mic back on, but they
Oh,
can
it
sue
is.
you for damages. My sister was telling me about the laws out in North Carolina, and I was like, "What?" She said, if my husband has an affair, I can sue his mistress for interfering with my marriage."
Mhm.
Oh, New York, and we would be having people in court for murder. It wouldn't even be damages. It would just
Every
be
five
murder,
minutes.
straight up murder.
Every five
The
minutes.
wife would have killed the husband. I'm sorry. The girlfriend would have killed the man. Be like, oh hell no, I ain't getting in. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Right.
I said, and the
Yeah.
fact is, I'm gonna be honest. Um, why? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to sue someone? If I tell people, if the person that you're with doesn't want to be with you, then that's not where
Let it
you
go.
should be. Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
where you should be. I realize that we have a lot of women out here who, they think alone is lonely and lonely are the same thing. It's not. That
Mm-mm.
means you have no life. That means you don't have anything that's built on you. So they wonder why they go to work, they come back, and they go, I feel lonely. But what else do? You go to spin class? Go take some Pilates. Go climb a damn mountain. Hell, go
I
get a
have
group
the
of
best
women.
time by myself. I be like, who you here? Me, man. What you mean? Why have to be out here with somebody? I have
Thank
the,
you.
She be with
there
her
is a lot.
fireworks.
You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because, yes, if you can't be with you, then you really got to observe that. You got to observe
Mhm.
why you want someone who's not trying to be with you to be with you, going all in, and all they want to do is be away from you. It's like, fine, fine, it's okay. Can you be by yourself? And you be good with yourself? But that's the thing too. Like, so I said that I think a lot of couples, it would be great if we could do that. Start your relationship before you go to marriage. You can force yourself not to go to some church where you go get the what you did wrongs and how to get over
Spend
it.
all this money too.
You spend a bunch of money for psychiatrists and priests and preachers to tell you about something that you're going to end up in the work of anyway. Your foundation of your marriage is going to come where the biggest struggle is. Do you know it's your finances? Period.
So,
It's
so
how
you
you
do,
manage your
yeah.
finances. That's what ended. They don't say that money is the biggest cause of most marriages. It's one of the top causes. It's not even one of. It is the number one cause for divorce in this country.
I give you my heart
Money.
before I share a bank account with you. Let me tell you right now.
Go deep.
Ooh,
I'm so serious. Now I done been in love.
Now.
I ain't sharing my account. I need to know where your mind is. The choice.
Exactly.
And you ain't about to trick off my bread. So no.
Oh God. I ain't gonna lie. You ain't never lied, girl. I'm trying to tell you.
you know how
Look,
many people want to marry? How many men want to marry women with retirement plans? I
thank
mean,
you.
that's a thing now.
Honey, I live in Harlem. There ain't
They
nothing
got
but these African.
passport
Hi,
bros.
lady. I get hello, lady. How you doing? I'm like, I'm good. Me and my husband fine. Oh, you married? Are you happy? I'm like, I wouldn't told you about my husband if I wasn't happy. Because if I wasn't happy, we be talking. But you ain't going there. We ain't going there. Not my type. I need somebody. See, my thing is if I'm going to be divorced, if I'm looking when I'm looking, because the sister gonna be divorced and happy. I ain't gonna be divorced and
Right.
miserable. I ain't gonna need a guy. I'm gonna want a guy, and the guy I want will definitely be a leader. That man will be chasing my tail. And if you come
There
on
you
my
go.
camera one more time, me and you, Mr. Thomas, me and you. I love it. I know. He's like, woman, I gotta go. I gotta move. Baby. It's so fun because he's not here normally, y'all. He's usually at work, and I don't get the pleasure of having him with us. So he's been on. This is the
That's
second show
sweet.
today, and that's my pleasure. I love seeing him when he's home on Fridays because we get to chill, and it's so funny. I was like, man, you made me mad. So he spent a little extra time, and I got upset at him and yelled at him. I said, "See, you should have came home early. You're supposed to get back here early." Why? Because I love spending. I love it when I get my Fridays. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You got to know what your special is about. What makes that person special to you? And it took a lot of us learning the facts. How does this work? You know what I'm saying? Because if it was because I didn't understand financial literacy, it put so much pressure on us. We was focused on you ain't got enough money. I ain't got enough money. Money, 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 money. you know, I love that man. I think he's really cool. He's one of my favorite buddies to hang out with. And I actually value him. His time off is my time on. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So we get to
Another
communicate.
advice as far as contractual agreements when it comes to business. If you're gonna do business partnership with someone
Yeah.
else, same thing as a relationship. You
Yep.
may not be sleeping with that person. You may not be living with that person. That person is someone who you have the same mindset on the
Right.
business part.
Right. But
Be careful.
but thank you. It lives in the paperwork. It
Correct.
lives in the paperwork. You've got to have your paper straight. We use we use contracts for guidelines. We use business plans for guidelines.
Mhm.
You don't so that things make sense. The time spent so you don't feel like you're wasting time. It
Right.
makes sense. We have a direction to go in and expectations and things on schedules. But most of us just want to be hitting this at the whim. It's like how as we go, Lucky Lucy. We're great together. We do wonderful things, but we have no agreement. And when that person takes and goes off with this person, you're looking at them. You took our idea over there. Well, I got a contract with them. I
I
don't
would
have an
say
agreement.
like you gotta make sure that the visions match. You know,
Yes.
that's one thing
Correct.
that I've seen. Like you
Yeah.
gotta see if you not the best way I can explain it is like I've tried to build people with people who is just okay.
Right.
They didn't want to be great, you know. And
Yeah.
so when you talk about like in a business sense, you talk about in a relationship, it doesn't matter if you have a unbalanced scale of expectation or what is really
Mhm.
wanted. That's something to know.
That's
Like
right.
the reason,
Right up
even
front.
in my situation, I've been how I've been is because I'm gonna always shoot for the moon, and I've encountered a lot of people who's like I'm just okay where I'm at, and that doesn't mesh. So they be super awesome people. It just doesn't align on
Right.
on either side. So that's something to see ahead of time because if the vision is not the same, then you need to know that to be as soon as possible.
Yeah, you have to. You don't want to waste time and
Just like in a
resources.
relationship.
It is a relation. Well, this is all we're
Mhm.
talking about is really all relationships. It's
Yes.
relatability from the get-go, good communication. And if you really have a good communication with each other, you get where it's not connecting. You get where it's not meshing. And you're not angry because you've wasted time. And this is I thought you was all of those. "Uh." We don't have to be in them. We can be like, you know
Right.
what? I got your back. I see you where you're at. We're gonna work with that there. Not me thinking something, you know what I'm saying, and you doing
Mhm.
something else. you know, you doing something else or whatever you want. But
But you
keep
have
people
to,
where
and
we
you have
are.
to be careful because, in my past
Yep.
experience, not myself, but I've seen people who are friends and go into business, and one is doing more than the other, both
Oh
financially,
man.
paper wise, administrative wise, and that can be very, it can be very toxic, right? Which
I have lost
Exactly.
some friends that way.
Exactly.
I have made some not friends. I have unfriended people because of that. That is definitely
yeah,
but had we had those conversations like, hey, this is to the extent of anything I'm gonna do. You
exactly.
know, in the beginning, it would have saved friendships.
So
Hmm.
now, and this is why we're sharing because I'm glad this is coming up because we're learning from those cautionary tales. It's like we didn't know. If I had me to tell me, do this first, have these conversations
Hmm.
first, and discern from it. I want you to take your time and think before you jump into it. I mean,
Right.
there's been a couple that have been, I'm gonna be like honest. There's some I got that was that quick about being like, nope, not you. I was like, no, because when we had an initial conversation, sound like we were on the same page. But then when we sat down to go do some, I was like, you sound like a whole woman, and this is a grown man. So I was like, when you feel like you're being too aggressive as a woman speaking to a grown man, you got to step back. It's time. I
Hmm.
can't be in this. I don't do this. I do work. And recognize we gotta recognize and establish ourselves because we get into stuff because we really want to be there. We want to help. We want to it's a work, but we didn't establish our purposes, their purposes, our commitment, their commitment, and then we wonder
Hmm.
why it didn't work out because there was no clear communication. They didn't agree to anything. You know what I'm saying? They didn't agree to anything. We just said we're gonna do this, and you are being the person that you are ran with how you are and said, okay, you're doing it too, right? Been there, done that a lot. I learned my lesson. It's like half a decade.
Chandelulu,
Yeah, exactly.
welcome. She has a question. So overall,
Yes.
it's better to work alone, even though it
No.
might be harder and longer? No,
I'm gonna
absolutely
be
not.
honest.
That's not
No.
what we say.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't recommend that for anybody. Let me say, they said don't give advice. No, hell no. I'm giving advice on this one. I do not recommend doing anything alone. And then it's statistically proven that you can't make over like 350,000 without a team. Period. So if you want your money to get big, you need
Amen.
a team regardless. It's really knowing about who to work with. It's being discernment, like having these conversations on the table ahead of time, really knowing what you're getting into, being clear, what I'm saying, on the contracts, on the agreements. And that, no, I hex no, no, I don't recommend it.
Attention,
Don't try that
all
at
That's
home.
right,
Don't
listeners.
try
baby.
that at home.
That's
Do
right.
Don't try
not
that at home.
do
Don't.
business alone.
Okay, so wait.
It's so hard. It's so
Okay,
hard. Like, do y'all hear
okay,
the trauma
Dad.
in my voice?
I
Do
hear
you hear
you,
the
sis.
trauma?
I hear you. Okay, and so when Miss Ruby met Dazzle, I met a maverick, amazing woman who was like, I did not plan, Miss Ruby. I'm telling you, I had people, everybody here before we got here to this situation. There were people who said they was gonna do stuff and they just didn't show up. I said, well, the fun part is you invited me somewhere, so now you've got whatever I can offer. But I told her, I said, you're gonna. She was pissed. She was ready to get rid of everybody. I mean, she was done. I was like, well, you can't. She said I wasn't supposed to be doing it. Everybody was here. I did what I was supposed to do. I was like, I know. But I realized Dazzle has an amazing level of energy as well as commitment, dedication. She's got brave. I mean, she steps, she does the work. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's folks that don't do the work. They good in the background. And everybody, and I had to learn myself in groups, not kidding. In learning how to build a group, which attracted me to Miss Dazzle in the first place, I need somebody like that to motivate me because I'm good at creating. We had to come together as Black girls in Web3 through our strengths. Each one of us gives something amazing to this platform. A lot of this stuff you see came from Salty Coffee. You understand what I'm saying? That's where that
Y'all
foundation
see
came
my
from.
ginger ale? My bottle of ginger ale.
No, tell them I don't. I don't see no ginger ale.
Who drinks ginger?
I
But
got
that
it.
is true,
Yeah.
and it was an amazing thing that with all the challenges and things that occurred to you, you also didn't think twice about it, and you still did it,
Yeah.
and
And
it
that
was
because my thing is that I'm one of those people that when something needs to be done, I just do it. I
exactly
don't wait to see whose job it is. I
right.
want to make sure that when I involve myself something, I want to make sure it goes off without a hitch. And if I can give to that, even though I buy a ticket, it doesn't mean I have to sit on the sidelines and watch it fall apart.
Right.
Does that make
Right.
sense? And but that's not only that, because she was a giver. I mean, straight from the get go, Dazzle was like dropping jewels, free, boom. Here, Miss Ruby, come do this. I got this for you. And I'm like, girl, you ain't by yourself. I'm coming out there. I'll be there. Mr. Thomas will be there. What you need, we got you.
Right.
And she saw that, but then there was other people who came through too, because it's hard to get anything done. Okay. But when you build yourself into a community that you get to know, and that's the thing. Now, Lulu, I got you, girl. You got to build, when you're building anything big, the most important thing will be your network. And your
Mhm.
network will always determine your net worth. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Your net worth will be as well as good and strong as the relationships you built with people. There's people I barter with. There's people who I train. There's people who do business with me. There's folks that I do a lot of stuff for free for, because that's me sewing into the community. I know that my words will pass on to other people through them, and that's my goal. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And when you do good business, like your reputation precedes you. Like, I'm like,
Yes.
hey man, you gotta meet my friends. You gotta meet my friends, and that is natural. So no, definitely don't try to work by yourself.
No.
I don't
Yeah.
recommend that.
And
I
when you
will
build
recommend
bridges,
this though. That this is important. This is something that I learned as an entrepreneur. Like, building your network, having things to where they are followable. Is that the word? Followable, your daily method of operation. So I had a friend, a very good friend of mine, and she was incapacitated for a while. So I had to operate her business. I had to make sure her emails were going out, follow up with clients, different things like this, a way of doing things. And I was like, oh snap, is my things in alignment to where the way I operate? Because I am a creative, so that means I work in organized chaos. um, but these are the things we have to think about. Like, it's not necessarily passing away, but if there's a situation to where you can't touch your business, is it structured in a way, or is your passwords in a way to where somebody else can keep it going for you until you are able to take the reins again? or to
Right.
be able to have that person, so that we're having that conversation. So I was thinking, like, I'm building all this wealth, you know, doing these things, but a lot of it, like, if something was to happen to me today, nobody in my family could access it because they don't want to sit down and take the time to learn it. My little
Amen.
sister was in class yesterday, you know,
Oh,
and
Suki.
that's taking, you know, that's taking the step. But majority of my family, no, nobody knows how to access anything that I've built in leaving. So that's what I'm saying. You need to have instructions as well,
Yes,
and
you
have
do.
that
And
have
also,
that have that in your plan.
and one important thing, Lulu, is align yourself with people who have the set mind as you do. Not necessarily the ideas and the creation and stuff like that, but align yourself with people where you want to go. And if you've outgrown that group, start aligning yourself with the next level people. And that's what I think Jazz is really coming to. Like, you should never do it alone, because that just really, it's too much work, and you're probably not going to get to the next level ever, because you're always going to see yourself like
And you will
behind
cry a
all the time,
lot.
and you're going to cry a lot.
So they say,
But
if you there's a saying, if you want to go somewhere fast, do it alone. But if you want to go far, you have to do it together. We have to find your tribe,
Mhm.
royal money tribe. And the fact is that we found our tribe, and your tribe is always going to grow, and it's always going to shift and change. People are going to
Right.
come and go. Some are going to be off to the side for a while. My tribe has shifted so many times in this last 5 years. It is wonderful to see when people come back. You know what I'm saying? I know. And it says, she said, yeah, that's what I need. And it's hard to trust. I
It
want you to
is.
start with with people that you already know. Start here. One of the biggest things about building a network is that most of the people that you meet come from within other networks that you of trust. You're going to meet people in and around other people's networks of already in a PB. So in other words, your current network of trust holds others that are waiting to
Right.
meet you. So, like, if you have an idea, you come to someone you trust, like myself, Miss Salty Coffee, or Miss Dazzle, and one of us, Miss Dazzle says it all the time. I got somebody for you. I want somebody,
Mhm.
and she will literally connect us, and she has in a chat to make sure that we're talking and moving around and doing things together and interacting. And she'll be there to guide that process. See,
Right.
I do that as well. That's what P2G was created to do. It wasn't created to be the do it all platform. It's created to be able to provide it all through others, through people like you all, like Miss Shonda Lulu. We
I
all
love
have great
that.
talents that we want to make sure that everybody gets to know. So we're getting ready to come to the top of the hour. I want to make sure we don't go too far over. But this was amazing. We got so much.
Yes,
Oh
we do.
gosh.
Can you please talk about the jobs, the Father's Day,
Okay,
please?
yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I gotta make a commercial. Anyway, we have a Father's Day challenge. We have the Homage to Papas, which is the Father's Day shout out challenge. It is a 1 minute. Dang it, if you can't write something about your favorite daddy or your favorite male, partner in life for 1 minute and submit it, you might even win a lot, like $500 in gifts and prizes. Start with me. And even some crypto. So get on the P2G website, go sign up, because if you don't, you're going to hear about how many people won and how grateful they are. Mother's Day is a special day, but I want to let y'all know that Father's Day is even more special when the men get the much due attention that they're due. We make a big deal out of Mother's Day, but Father's Day is kind of like a party, like a little, it's like a little, what do they call that? It's like, what time you drink? What time is it when you say it's time to drink for drinking?
Happy hour.
Thank you. Father's Day, Mother's Day is run like a parade. Father's Day is run like happy hour. Okay. We pick a time, do it, and get it out the way. Mother's Day is all day. Okay. We run it for a whole week. We getting ready. All right.
Can I share the flyer just really quick for
Yeah,
it,
go ahead.
so that people can see it?
Yeah, put it
This
up.
way we can give them a little example of what is expected from them?
Absolutely. Voila. So this is on the P2G website. Go ahead, Salty. You want to give an idea what's up?
So it's from the link will be available from May 28th to June 12th, right?
Yes.
And a pre-Father's Day shout out tribute and contest. Do you have a special father figure in your life? We want to hear about it. Black Girls in Web3 is excited to present Homage to Papas, a heartfelt tribute in honor to our fathers and father figures everywhere. This is your chance to celebrate and show appreciation in a creative and personal way. So on the P2G website, you're going to go to more, and then you're going to click on P2G contests.
Yes.
And read and fill out the form. It's a Google form, so it's going to take you back to your Google. So make sure you have a Google account, and it tells you how to participate. And simply just create a 1-minute video. It could be less than 1 minute. It doesn't have to be exactly 1 minute. Share the shout out. You can include your friends. Be creative as you can be. We're going to have the judges, and then we'll present the winner on June 14th.
Yes.
Where we're also going to have as hosts, guest hosts,
yes,
LJ and Hutchinson.
Yes.
The P2G Networks TV Wrapped in Crypto hosts.
Yeah.
LJ and Hutchinson. I love it. So this is going to be an amazing thing.
That's going to be an awesome day. We get to talk about their lives as fathers, and then we talk about the Father's Day, and then we'll get to hear the homage to Papas. And anyone can enter. You don't have to enter if you don't want to win a prize. That's fine. But we want to hear your voice. We want you to voice your appreciation for the men in your life. Either you can do it through it all has to be video, but you can do it through song. You can do it through poetry. You can even do it through a skit. So you can do it through artistic skit. You want to do something like a part in a movie or something you remember. All right, my loves, it is time. We want to say thank you so much for joining us on our amazing Friday night. We in the house. And we about to be out.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ruby and Dazzle. And don't forget Salty Coffee Self-Care Sundays every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can visit www.saltycoffeeparkers.com just for every information. And also every Monday, come into the P2G Network's Introduction to Canva to build your brand with Salty Coffee as an instructor. Join now. Do it. It's free.
Oh, yeah. That's wonderful. Okay. Here we go. Thank you for coming. And Dazzle, would you like to give your love for everybody to get going here to send them in the weekend now?
Blessings, good fortune, and may the profits forever be in your favor.
Yo quiero dinero, dinero.